Hello, this is a Bluthner Style 4, that's 150 centimetres long, 4'11", and it's made in 1938, just come into stock and into our polishing room because we're intending to repolish this. Now, the piano's already been fully restored to a very high standard. These are one-piece ivory keys. In other words, there's no join in the middle, just one-piece ivory. That's wonderful. A lot of restorers did that. It means it's probably been restored in the 1980s. Now, the casework is in good condition generally. It's just the top of the piano that needs repolishing. But if we just repolish the top, as we do proper French polishing, or try to do it as well as we possibly can, it takes between 60 and 70 hours. And we just repolish the top, it won't match the rest of the piano in terms of the type of finish and also the colour. You can see the top there that needs redoing. So that could be made good. If you wanted to spend a lot less money on the piano, that's possible. So the piano itself, though, is in perfect condition. That standing out there is actually an indicator for the lifesaver system underneath the piano. There's the piano lifesaver system. It's not something I recommend, although it works very well, unless you're very, very fastidious. And really, the problem is after 5 years, very often it's neglected completely, and then it's better if it's not put in the first place. I recommend keeping the humidity of the room correct, not too high, not too low, not too hot as well. And if you have underfloor heating, that is a real problem. You need an underfloor heating isolation mat really, and also have to be very vigilant indeed. But if you are careful, then any piano is suitable in a normal modern house. The inside of the piano is in wonderful condition, as you can see. The soundboard's no cracks, no defects, except for the crazing. When they redid it, unfortunately the polish they put on is crazed. So cosmetically that devalues the piano slightly, but it has no effect on the tone of it whatsoever. The strings are excellent, as good a quality as you can possibly get. Now, these later Bluthners all have a normal modern roller action. Bluthners up to 1925 generally have a patent action. There's other videos that relate to that if you want to see what that means. There we have the hammers. I'm pretty sure they're Renner hammers, Renner Bluthner style hammers, and they're as good a quality as you can get. You can see the wear on them there. It has been used a bit, but they're still quite rounded. We could certainly reface those, but the tone of the piano is excellent as it is, as you'll hear in a minute. And the regulation's good. They're sitting nicely off the hammer rail. The springs are working well. We've got a bit, well, they're not working as well as they could be, so we've got a bit of tidying up to do. You can see they've worn in slightly to the back checks there, but not very much. So generally the action's excellent. The centre pins here are very tight too. Another technical thing we have to do here is that the dampers, you can see they've been replaced, but here they're a bit close to each other. And as you can see, they're touching each other. That's quite common in small pianos particularly. That's just a matter of shaving off some of the damper and maybe squashing it a bit too. And it won't be a problem afterwards, but you can see if we play these, they're sticking against each other, and that's quite a common problem. So as I say, just shaving off the dampers a bit, making sure they don't touch and they won't touch again is the thing we need to do there. So that's a Bluthner Style 4 grand piano, 4'11.5" or 4'11" long, 150 centimetres, and it's a short piano, but for short pianos it's got to be one of the very, very best that there are. We really love them. We sell as many as we can, and difficult to source, very, very popular piano. This particular one's been very well restored. We need to do a little bit of fine reconditioning, but it's a very good touch weight, excellent hammers, very little wear since it's been restored. The tenor area here is nice and rich. The touch, by the way, on this piano is as good as you'll get on a small grand. Thank you very much for listening.